Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some Path of Exile discussion. What I wanted to do today with 3.19 less than 24 hours away is go through some of the things in the patch notes that are being widely overlooked in the community. These are things that might impact your league start choice, or alternately might give you a different thing that you might want to try to work towards in the future. Firstly, there were a couple of late changes to replicas. These were not in the patch notes when they were first revealed. These have been things that have been added later. So firstly, Replica Elberon's Warpath is actually getting buffed. This is one of the best items in the game, but because the base version of Elberon's Warpath is going from 20% move speed to 25%, so too is the Replica. This is exactly the stat that these powerful boots needed more of, and even though 5% move speed isn't a massive jump, it's already one of the best items in the game, and it's just getting better. Real build empowering unique, very, very powerful, and it was something like 25 exalts last league. For a good reason, it'll probably be a comparable number of Divine Orbs this league. There's also changes that were made last second to Replica Learcast, Replica Doedre's Damning, and Replica Hyri's Truth. And Replica Hyri's Truth is important because that is actually worse for some builds. I do think the item is going to be a stronger overall package, but it is not a stronger item on every build that might have previously wanted to use it. So do keep that in mind if you are thinking of using that item on your build. There's also been a hidden nasty, and that is reduce the number of unique items dropped throughout the game. Now, this was explicitly mentioned during the live stream announcement, but it's something a lot of people are not factoring in when they're planning their league starters. A bit of an example here, Shorobram's Malefiance is a unique item that is very easy to get in a trade league on day one. However, maybe it won't be as easy to get on day one. Maybe it's not going to be 2 chaos, maybe it's going to be 20 chaos. If that's the case, you want to be aware of things like that potentially being quite a bit more expensive day one than they've been in the past. Now, this is going to potentially go double for items that come from divination cards, because we don't know if there's going to be corresponding rebalances in the drop rates of divination cards that give uniques as well. It may be that divination cards like the Offering, which grants Chevron's Wrappings, may also be made rarer. That hasn't been said. This, I would say, is particularly important for unique items that are getting made more powerful this patch. So things like Thunderfist, the Covenant, and Obliteration are all getting massive, massive, massive buffs, and any of those could be quite a bit harder to source than they've been in previous leagues. So just be aware of that. I would suggest that if you're planning to use unique items in your build, make sure they drop from bosses, and then you'll have a bit of a sense as to how far through progression you're likely to be when you start killing that boss, and also you'll have a sense as to how long it takes for the server to get to the point that that item becomes available in trade. And then you can make an informed decision about when you'll be able to access those items. Next, I want to clarify a common misconception, and that is that when the bench crafts are being changed from Exalted Orbs to Divine Orbs, it's not all of the bench crafts that use Exalted Orbs, it is just the meta mods. So it is only the 5 crafts that are called out by name in the patch notes that are changing into costing Divine Orbs that previously had different costs. These are cannot roll attack mods, cannot roll caster mods, multi-mod, prefixes can't change, suffixes can't change. Everything else on the crafting bench that currently costs Exalted Orbs is going to stay costing Exalted Orbs. And I think that a lot of people are going to use Exalted Orbs to add bench crafts to items, especially powerful mods that have previously not been worth using early in progression. Things like 37 to 41% increased damage while leeching on gloves, I think that's the range. Maybe it's slightly higher or slightly lower, or hits cannot be evaded on a weapon, or tier 1 physical local damage, so 100 to 129% increased physical damage. All of these crafts are things that are going to stay in Exalted Orbs, and so Exalts will still have quite a lot of demand, especially fairly early in the league. Next, Diala's Malefaction is a unique item that is getting a massive buff that a lot of people have been sleeping on. I don't know that this is necessarily going to be something you'll just fit onto an existing build. This is something that's going to empower certain combinations of support gems, and especially when you're talking about ultimate quality support gems. Just going through the list, some of the things that become ridiculous when they get plus 30 to quality, which is what Diala's Malefaction can grant to socketed gems, is Divergent Melee Splash, Divergent Chance to Bleed, Anomalous Swift Assembly, Divergent Physical to Lightning, Anomalous Archmage, we'll come back to this in a sec, Divergent Spell Echo, as well as some further scaling on things like Phantasmal Earth Shatter. So Anomalous Archmage is a big deal here because when you get it up to 53 quality, which is possible with Diala's Malefaction now, you can really get some tremendous amounts of added cold damage from this. And I think there will definitely be a build around Anomalous Archmage and Diala's Malefaction this league. And do keep in mind that Diala's Malefaction, you can socket a non-green gem into a green socket on it. Next is a unique item that everyone forgot existed. This used to be a genuine chase item back in the day. Back more than 20 leagues ago, Ming's Heart was something people really wanted. They were excited to get this, and it was the reason that you had Amethyst Rings singing out to you on your loot filter. This did not remain the case over time. Ming's Heart really fell off badly, but it's getting a massive buff. So the drawbacks on it are getting made really severe. The reduced maximum energy shield and life are being raised to 20%, but the physical damage added as extra chaos is being scaled up to 40 to 60%. This is a massive amount, and there's definitely going to be builds that can use this. This is a really, really fantastic item for physical poison builds especially, and I think that we will definitely see some glass cannon builds that inflict some truly massive poisons with Ming's Heart. Wouldn't surprise me if you get a boss killing service to help you with some particular encounter you can't beat. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see them using 2 copies of this item and inflicting massive poisons and deleting the boss within 3 seconds. There are some ridiculous items that are being added for tweaking of your second and third and subsequent characters. The ones that I wanted to point out are Bitter Dream, Replica Bitter Dream, and Replica Prism Weave. Replica Prism Weave in particular has gone completely under the radar. This is not going to exist in the league for the first 3 or 4 hours, and then once they start coming onto the market, they're not going to be something that are going to be super affordable when you're leveling your first character. So just ignore them when you're getting your first character going through the axe. But like 7 League Steps, these are going to provide a tremendous boost to subsequent characters. Regular Bitter Dream is ideal for builds that are doing cold damage. Replica Bitter Dream is ideal for a bunch of different builds that are using spell damage. And Replica Prism Weave is amazing actually in conjunction with Replica Bitter Dream because it will allow you to inflict all 3 of those elemental ailments. And let's finish with a nerf that people didn't notice. A lot of people haven't noticed this. They're excited about the return of Tainted Fusings, but they haven't seen that they used to be 50-50 in the past and that there is a patch note explicitly saying they will no longer be 50-50 in the future. They may still be very good. It may still be the best way to 6-link items, but Tainted Fusings are no longer the powerhouse that they used to be. That's all I've got. May your Varlorbs have interesting results, and I will see you around.